few months ago, I was looking for some front and rear bike lights for my Trek Domani SL5, which is just behind me, that I just bought. And naturally, because I just bought a Trek bike, I headed over to the Trek website to see what bike lights they had in stock. And what I saw honestly surprised me. So in this video, I'm going to compare Trek's premium front and rear bike lights with Magicshine's front and rear bike lights. And you can make up your own mind, and maybe the results will surprise you too. So let's start with the front bike lights. Trek have two premium options to choose from: the Trek Commuter Pro RT and the Trek Ion Pro RT. Now, there are two main differences between these two lights. The first difference is that the Commuter Pro RT is 1000 lumens, whereas the Ion Pro RT is an extremely bright 1300 lumens. The second difference is that the Commuter Pro RT's light has a specialized cut-off beam pattern similar to a car headlight that's designed specifically to avoid blinding oncoming traffic in urban environments. Now, the Ion Pro RT has a more traditional wide beam pattern which would be better suited to off-road trails. And they're both priced at around the same price range, $130 to $140. So far, so good, right? Well, this is where it kind of goes downhill, because the Trek Commuter Pro RT was launched in September 2022. Here's a promo video Trek uploaded to their YouTube channel on the 15th of September 2022. So it's a 3-year-old product. Okay, fair enough. But the Ion Pro RT, here's a promo video Trek uploaded to their YouTube channel on the 10th of July 2018. That light launched 7 years ago, and it's still being sold on their website at full price for $140. I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. Technology advances, especially electronics, and I just think that Trek dropped the ball on this one a bit in terms of not investing in updating their lights. And I love Trek. I wanted to buy their lights, and that's why I went straight to their website after I bought my Trek bike. But I just can't buy a set of lights that were first released 7 years ago. Anyway, I did some research. I browsed for hours on Reddit and other forums to see what other people were buying, and I ended up buying this Magicshine ALLTY 400 light from AliExpress. I bought it with my own money. I spent about $30, and I absolutely love this 400 lumen light. Saying that, I would not even recommend this, because within a few months of buying this light, Magicshine came out with the V2 version, and they look very similar, right? But there are some pretty big upgrades. So on a side note, this is what I expect to see from a company that really cares about their products, right? Continuous improvement, upgrades every, I don't know, 1 or 2 years, maybe 3 years, not every 7 years. And I'll do a comparison of Magicshine's lights and Trek's lights a little bit later on in the video to really show you how much bike lights have advanced over the last 7 years, because it is a lot. But first off, the ALLTY 400 V2 is tiny but mighty, 400 lumens packed into this kind of compact aluminium body that feels way more premium than the price suggests. The V2 model improved everything from battery life, which jumped from 7 hours to 10 hours. So this one is just 7 hours. This one is 10 hours. And they've also redesigned the beam. You can see this part has a bit of a cutout here, whereas this one doesn't, which just helps that little bit more with containing the light to go forward as opposed to all around. So the beam pattern is actually my favorite thing about this light. Magicshine added what they call a Gen 2 anti-glare lens, which basically means that the light goes where you need it on the road in front of you instead of blinding oncoming traffic. And the mount uses a Garmin style quarter turn system that's rock solid. I've taken this thing over some serious rough gravel roads and it has not budged. And since it uses that standard Garmin mount, you can easily pop it on and off or move it between bikes. I have two bikes, a Trek Marlin, which is a mountain bike, and a Trek Domani, which is a road bike. I do love you, Trek. I love your bikes, not necessarily your lights. The button changes color to let you know how much juice is left. Green for 30% to 100%, red for 10 to 30%, and flashing red when you're on less than 10%. Now, 400 lumens, for me at least, is perfect for when riding my Trek Domani on the roads, because pretty much everywhere I ride around here has street lights, so I don't necessarily need anything brighter. However, if I were to do some touring outside of the city where there's no street lights, I also have the ALLTY 800, which is, as the name suggests, has twice the output at 800 lumens, the same features as the ALLTY 400 2400 just a tad brighter, and I also have the ALLTY 1200U. Now this light has new additional features. I actually use the ALLTY 1200U for my mountain bike, and I like that this particular light has an undermount, and this light also has a remote which I have on my handlebar, so I don't need to reach underneath the Garmin and try kind of fumbling around trying to turn it on. For this light, Magicshine have an app where you can change the settings. For example, if you want your light to turn on with just 1% brightness every time, you can set that up in the app. Or you can set it up so that with the press of the remote button, the front and the rear light turn on simultaneously, providing you have the app compatible Magicshine rear light as well, which is right here. So let's do a quick comparison of the Magicshine ALLTY 1200U and the Trek Ion Pro RT, because I think this really highlights how good value the ALLTY 1200U is. So the Trek Ion Pro RT actually wins in the brightness category. It's 1300 lumens versus the ALLTY's 1200 lumens, but that is where it ends. The ALLTY has better battery life from 2 hours to 12 hours depending on brightness versus Trek's 1.5 to 6 hours. The ALLTY takes 2.5 hours to charge from 0% to 100%, whereas the Trek takes 7 hours to charge. The ALLTY has a USB-C port versus Trek's micro USB port. The ALLTY is lighter at 165 grams versus Trek's 192 grams. The ALLTY is IPX7 waterproof rating, whereas the Trek has just an IPX4 waterproof rating. The ALLTY is app compatible, the Trek isn't. And finally, the big one, the ALLTY is $80, whereas the Trek Ion Pro RT is still being sold at full price at $140. So with the ALLTY, you get a better light in every single way at 60% of the price of the Trek light. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but it gets kind of even worse. It's the same story with the rear lights of the Magicshine and Trek. The most premium rear light on Trek's website is the Trek Flare RT. It's selling for $65, and at first glance, it seems like a decent light. And I mean, it is until you compare it with its competition. So let's bring in the Magic SEEMEE 200 V3. Now, bearing in mind, this light sells for $45. That's $20 cheaper than the Trek, and it's the same story. It's better in almost every way. There's one area where the Trek Flare RT is better, and that's waterproof rating. The SEEMEE has a waterproof rating of IPX6, whereas the Trek has a waterproof rating of IPX7. The Trek is also slightly smaller, but both weigh the same at 40 grams. But that's where the similarities end. The SEEMEE is USB-C, whereas the Trek is micro USB. The SEEMEE has a charge time from 0% to 100% of 1.5 hours, whereas the Trek's charge time is 2 hours. The SEEMEE has a smart sensor, which is basically a built-in motion sensor that automatically switches to maximum output when you hit the brake. The Trek doesn't. The SEEMEE has auto adjust brightness, which is a light sensor that auto adjusts the brightness to your environment. The Trek doesn't. The SEEMEE automatically goes into low power mode when the battery hits 10%. The Trek doesn't. And maybe more importantly, the SEEMEE is much brighter at 200 lumens versus Trek's 90 lumens. Actually, according to Trek's website, the Flare RT will only go to 25 lumens on steady mode. But my favorite feature that separates this rear light from almost every rear bike light that I've seen on the market is that it has two lights, one pointing outwards and one pointing downwards. So it shines a light outwards, as all rear lights do, but it also shines a light on your bike and around the floor, making you even more visible at nighttime. It's a really kind of clever feature, and you'd have thought that having two lights would significantly decrease battery life, but in eco mode, the light has up to 132 hours of battery life, which is insane, whereas the Trek's light has up to 12 hours of battery life. So, I mean, it's a clear winner for the Magicshine SEEMEE, and like I said, I love you, Trek. I love you as a brand. I have bought the Trek Domani SL5 and the Trek Marlin 5, and I have nothing but good things to say about both those bikes, but I just feel like the only reason I didn't buy the premium Trek lights was because I did my research. And I do understand that bike manufacturers, they don't have it easy, right? Raw materials are getting more expensive, labor costs are rising, and supply chain disruptions continue to impact production. Companies like Trek are constantly having to balance quality with affordability while trying to innovate in a very competitive market. And sure, accessories like bike lights are probably not a priority for Trek right now. At the same time, when you have companies like Magicshine that are really innovating and offering better products at a fraction of the price. And I'm not just talking about Magicshine, I'm talking about there's so many bike light manufacturers out there. Pretty much every bike light I would say on the market is better than Trek's premium offerings right now. And this just doesn't look good for Trek, because I was thinking, what if you went to a Trek store and you didn't open your phone to research before you bought them? Or what if it was an older buyer who didn't know how to check online and ended up buying one of Trek's $140 bike lights, which is just not that good. I do have some affiliate links in the description below. And if you like this video, I made another video recently on 15 incredible cycling accessories from AliExpress where I explore more affordable upgrades that perform exceptionally well. You can click on this card on the screen right there. And if you want to watch my Trek Domani SL5 bike review, where I praise Trek a lot as opposed to this video, you can click on this card right here.